Today is day one of my journey with antidepressants. First of all, yay. Can we talk about that? But also, not only is it the first day of my antidepressants, today is the first day of my antidepressants as a creative. And I just feel intuitively drawn to document this journey publicly. Not necessarily for fame or for views. I don't really care about that. In fact, this is actually quite embarrassing. So, and I'm probably going to end up saying things that might strike a nerve. I want to be as honest and real as possible. I wish I had a resource like this. And so I hope maybe I can be that for someone. The only thing that I can think of right now, and I've been singing it all morning because I'm currently taking the medication that is in the song, but I'm thinking of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Antidepressants are not a big deal. That was the La La Land parody. It's like, fluoxetine, 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 fluoxetine.
Fluoxetine, fluoxetine,
Paroxetine, paroxetine,
citalopram, citalopram.
And I've been singing that because I'm currently taking fluoxetine. This Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is actually the show that, in the middle of my suicide attempt, I remembered Rebecca Bunch, Rachel Bloom, Rebecca Bunch, pressing the help button on the airplane when she was trying to overdose on pills. And I was trying to overdose on Motrin. I knew in that moment that I saw that button in the show and I knew I needed to get help. So anyway, that was September 23rd, 2019, and today is December 9th, 10th. Come with me while I make breakfast. I think I'm gonna make a fried egg and some roasted potatoes, just for something easy. So let me go ahead and try and maybe chop up some potatoes while I fill you in about what my day is gonna be like. This will have to do for now because this is all I got. I'm a full-time musician and I've been blessed enough to be a full-time musician since 2021 when I moved here. Long story short, I moved here to be in a band. That band fell apart. I've been navigating for the past several years how to be a solo musician. Since then, I am now a music director for Lauren Elise, and I'm currently in a state of creative dysphoria, if you will, around my life, but I'll get to that in a minute. This is gonna be like Food Network Star. On Food Network Star, they would be like, you need to be able to talk and cook at the same time and explain yourself. And I'm also trying to look in the camera, so I'm like talking to you and not the side of the screen. And it's like, oh God, it's a lot. Especially for 8 in the morning. Like, it's 9 o'clock right now. This is a lot. I took my meds for the first time last night. And then I think because I took my fluoxetine last night, I could not sleep at all. And I just found myself constantly tossing and turning until I had to sedate myself with sleepy time tea. I had almost what I think might be a placebo effect. I have no idea because I was so excited to finally be on antidepressants and to finally get help that I took it last night. Which is, I do think that that's why I stayed up late. Well, not stayed up late, but I couldn't sleep. I was in bed earlier than normal, because usually I fall asleep around like 5 or 6 a.m. Last night I was in bed by at least 9, 10 o'clock, and I was tossing and turning until about midnight, and then I fell asleep at around 1:30 to 2 o'clock after reading a book and starting to watch Sleepless in Seattle. Has this been anybody else's experience with antidepressants where it's like they take it and immediately, within less than a night, they feel the effects of said medication, having never been on it? I feel like I'm making shit up in my brain. It feels too good to be true because now I feel like the same way I was at a super low before taking the pills, now I feel like I'm potentially reaching a manic high, mostly because of my excitement that I have the pills and being able to take them. And I'm not going to take it at night ever again. That's just not gonna happen. I've learned my lesson now. Say hello to my baby. I feel liberated. I was even journaling last night. I was like, I feel hopeful that this will be a new era of my life in which I can actually experience some joy and some hope. And being a full-time musician, I've done everything for fame, for validation, from my personal relationships to the music that I put out. Not necessarily the creation of it. The creation of it is I've made music that I wanted to make, but I have had the goal of reaching fame through music. Like most people, I'm not alone in that. The thing that bothers me is that with social media, which I no longer have, I'm not on Instagram or TikTok or any of the stuff. I deactivated it because it was so bad for my mental health. And I felt so alone despite trying to connect with so many people, even people that I knew. Nobody that I knew was seeing my stuff. And I kept feeling like I was chasing a goalpost all the time. And even in this most recent cycle of a huge low, I just couldn't create anymore. And it's funny that I'm doing a songwriter night tonight, or that I've been asked to play one, because I feel very weird taking this offer because I don't feel like a songwriter. I know that I've written songs, and I know that I sing, and I know that I play piano, but I have, again, it's like a huge bit of dysphoria around what I do. Even now that I have my meds, I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm still this angle feels weird. I don't even feel like I'm a real musician anymore because I don't get any joy from it. I genuinely just don't get joy from it. The number one place that I feel joy in is the studio. And I haven't created a beat in a long time, mostly because of my hatred of, or not hatred, I love sampling, but I feel self-conscious and I feel nitpicky, for lack of a better word, when it comes to sampling and just making beats off the top of my dome like I used to. I haven't written a song. I haven't recorded any vocals. I haven't put down any keyboard tracks. I really haven't even had a jam session on my keyboard to my own, to the music in my music library. So I feel a bit like a fraud going to this show tonight. I kind of want to just sing my songs and get out. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to mingle. I don't want to network. I don't want to. And also, I kind of just feel like I almost want to use it as a bit of a testimonial, to maybe even give insight into this and this journey of antidepressants and my recent bout of anxiety and depression surrounding music and songwriting and creativity in general. And I find it really, really ironic, too, how God has put me in a position of gaining exposure, yet I don't even feel worthy of it. Or not even that I don't feel worthy of it. It's like, where was the shit when I was peddling my music? And I had a moment recently where I deleted all of my originals from streaming, mostly because I can't pay for distribution anymore. I can't pay for my cover song licenses through distribution anymore. It's too expensive. And also with the whole Spotify and who sampled merger thing that's happening, I got scared because a lot of my stuff has micro samples, if not larger samples. And during my depression, I decided to upload all of my music to Spotify and the streamies simply because I didn't want to create music anymore. And then the moment that I did all of that, sample or no sample, that announcement came out and I was like, well, fuck me. So I took down all of my songs from streaming because one, I got scared, and two, I just, again, couldn't legitimately pay for anything. I'm building up my bank account from the ground up. This was the first year ever in my life I have seen negative dollars in my bank account. And that scared the shit out of me. This was the first year that I've ever had a debit card declined. This is the first year I have ever had to have large purchases put onto a credit card. This was a year from hell, just genuinely. And all of my year added up to this moment made me tired. And I think that that's partially why I have felt so burnt out with music, because not only have I been carrying such a huge weight on my own, with help, you know, from my family and some friends and stuff like that, but I have had a lot on my heart, on my mind, on my body, on my spirit, on my soul, that I have just genuinely felt like the world has just come down on me. And then you add into like the whole creative side of things and trying to be Mr. Viral and create content and go out of your way to do all this stuff. All of that stuff kind of went out the window because one, I couldn't afford it. And two, like, I have no drive to do it anymore because I associate the creation of music with pursuing fame. And one thing that my therapist brought up to me, which I admit I kind of hate, but she has a point, was the artist's way. And currently, I'm not even bothering with reading the book. I like the artist dates and shit. I don't know about that right now. All I know is that my therapist was like, why don't you try doing morning pages? Just to get your, you know, creative spark back, or at least try to get back on track with the artist's way. And I was like, you know what? Fine. In some moments it was annoying, and in some moments it was kind of entertaining because it was like, well, I can make it anything that I want. I don't have to write with punctuation. I don't have to, you know, I could scribble in it if I want to, which was nice. But it's just keeping it up every morning. It's just going to be like, am I going to be able to do that? Just like this vlog, I want to do this vlog every day, or at least for the first week. I'm trying to start small. I'm trying to go for the first week. I want to do morning pages, and I want to do this vlog and take you guys along with me on my antidepressant journey, because this is just really important to me, and I really want to document this moment in my life in a special way. And especially because I want to be a resource. I know there's a lot of creative people that are pursuing a life of full-time creativity and trying to make money from it and make a living from it that have the isms that are in my head. And I wish I had a resource like this. There was a Vanessa Nagoya video that I'll probably link down below if I can. And it was her first week on antidepressants and her sort of talking with her doctors and trying to get the right medication for her. And I got a lot of comfort from that. So hopefully for my creatives and my queer people and my black people and my black dudes, my black queer dudes out there, and my, you know, fat black queer dudes and my other, you know, everybody out there that are like me, that's what I hope that my work does for people. From not just my music, but I hope that my living can be a testimony that hopefully things can get better at 333. And maybe, you know, this is just a start. So I want to start this week and document it and do my morning pages, wake up in the morning, preferably, and not in the afternoon, have a morning routine, shower, morning pages, start my vlog, and eat breakfast. Those 4 things I want to do in the morning. But I want to, today, my short-term goals for today are to take you along with me to show you the world of a full-time musician and take you into the songwriting gig thing. I don't know why I'm doing this songwriter show, because again, I have such creative dysphoria right now. That's my term that I'm calling it. I don't think that that's a classified term, but that's what you're gonna hear it be called. Part of me maybe might be just convincing myself that I'm not a musician, or I'm not a songwriter, or I'm not a screenwriter, or I'm not this or that because of whatever I've been going through mentally. And maybe the more I take my antidepressants, that'll cure over time. And maybe the more that I go into my creative spark with the morning pages and trying new things throughout the days and weeks and months, maybe that might change. But what am I gonna say when I get up to these people? I don't even remember half the lyrics to my songs. That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have my phone with me, so you're probably not gonna see the gig. I don't even have a set list together. It's supposed to be 5 or 6 songs. I don't even know if I have 5 or 6 songs that I can remember off the top of my head. I might have to write all my lyrics down on a book. That's an idea. I can use a notebook and carry it with me on stage. Plus that kind of gives like a little like coffee house, like songwriter night, like Def Jam, poetry slam type thing going on. You know, it's very earthy. It's very like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like such an imposter. And I keep saying that I don't have imposter syndrome, but I think this genuinely is imposter syndrome, because this is what I do and people enjoy what I do, but I don't like how I do it. And that's what makes me feel self-conscious. That's what makes me feel unhappy about, you know, the state of my music and the state of my performance. I hate performing right now because the ways in which I perform, you know, for, you know, playing to tracks in a room full of like 30 people talking at the top of their lungs, and the thing is, people dig what I do, but I don't dig how I do it, which then makes me depressed. That's the predicament that I'm in currently. Stop, egg. Why am I cracking it in a bowl? Aren't I frying it? Or am I gonna scramble it? I don't want to scramble egg. Okay, I'm sorry. My brain just had a hiccup moment. Excuse me. I hate this angle now. I think what I want to do, or what I expect myself to do tonight, just give a journey of, or just give full disclosure of where I'm at. And that's another thing about me, is like, I hate singing and playing at the same time. Can't stand it. I have such respect for drummers, number one. I have such respect for people who play piano and sing at the same time. Because of my anxiety and my constant, you know, need for perfection, I feel very uncomfortable when I sing and play at the same time. However, that's like the top thing that everybody wants a pianist that sings to do. You know what I'm saying? Even as a background vocalist for a singer, I'm in like a falsetto range because she's a singer that's in like the alto, tenorish range. So I'm having to jump higher in my falsetto to match her. It's like, I hate singing and playing at the same time. Like, I can't stand it. Also, I hate having to remember lyrics. I love playing keys and I love singing. I just don't like doing them both at the same time. 1101. I don't like doing both of them at the same time. So I wish I could separate the two sides of my body that's doing the things, but I can't. Looking forward to that tonight. Also, I don't want to lead. I don't want to enter the room with negative energy. I don't want to enter the room with a defeated energy. That's the last thing I want to do, especially at a cypher, at a jam session, at a muse, so Matt calls it. But at the same time, it's just what I've been going through. And also, if I'm imperfect tonight, first of all, they can't find my music on streaming, so why am I worried? Bitch, chill. I just realized that I'm like talking to my phone like a person's in the room. And I think maybe all along, maybe that's what I've needed. I've done voice memo journals, but at the same time, I think that maybe I just needed a friend to talk to. And maybe that's y'all. What I'm going to show you around on is the gig tonight. So I'm gonna get these potatoes out of the oven, finish cooking this egg, and have my breakfast. And it's so weird with it being the morning. I keep thinking that I have a gig to go to in 2 hours. 15:15. I will see you at Urban Artifact. Such is the life of a musician without a car. Alright, so we're here at Urban Radio Artifact, and we're here at the monthly Muse. Already set up and ready to go. I'll let you know how it goes when I get back. One of the perks of being a regular musician at a venue is being able to leave your stuff for tomorrow. I'm walking back from Ghost Baby, my typical place that I always play with Lauren Elise. Second Thursdays, come out and see us. Tonight went way better than I actually expected. And on top of that, not only was it fun and I met amazing people, talented people, but I get to leave my gear for tomorrow. I don't have to face the terror of having to constantly carry my stuff for 2 days straight. And it's also starting to snow. And I was praying for like a little Christmas joy to enter my life last night as I took my meds for the first time. And I feel like a kid again with the snow falling versus, oh fuck, the snow is falling. Oh God, it's gonna be icy and cold. It's wintertime. Wow. I feel like let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Well, not really, but I'm enjoying the light sprinkle of snow that is happening right now. So whoever's in the apartment below me decided to listen to Dolly Parton gospel chipmunk music at like 11 o'clock at night. But I'm home now. One thing that kept coming up the entire time I was listening to the other songwriters, I was just like, I could hear their music being produced. Like I could hear, I could, when it gets off the ground, I'm calling my record label division of my entertainment company View Audio Visions, because that's how I experience music. I see it in as almost like not necessarily just like a music video, but I see it visually. I feel like Sonny Malone in Xanadu. I see more than what's really there. And that's me when I listen to other musicians, especially really, really talented musicians like the ones tonight. And again, like I was saying earlier, I had massive imposter syndrome, but at the same time, I felt like I was at home. Also, I want to note about my performance tonight. I'm harder on myself than I need to be. And that's a habit that I'm hoping that I learn to break over time. But tonight I actually did a really good job. And it felt, as somebody that doesn't like playing and singing tonight, it actually wasn't that bad. Maybe I'm just used to it at this point. But something in me felt different. And again, I don't know if that's the meds. I don't know if that's just God working with 33. I don't know if that's God working with me or what. I don't know what it was. But tonight just felt like a shift in a positive direction. And before this morning, I was just like so scared and afraid that I was going to fuck up and mess up the words. And yeah, I flubbed a few parts, but again, it's original music, so nobody really knows what the fuck it is, especially when my shit's not on streaming. So I'm just harder on myself than anybody else. I'm my harshest critic. And that's hard to navigate. Okay, I just wanted to interject that. At times I felt rather embarrassed, mostly just because I'm such a hermit now, and I've deleted all of my socials. So a lot of people were asking me, like, what's your Instagram? Or can I follow you here? And I'd be like, I don't have that anymore. I was telling Sylvia, who you guys should go check out. I was telling Sylvia that it's kind of like when I miss college, or if I miss an old situationship or relationship in general. It's like I miss the memory of it, but I don't really miss going through it. Like I miss the memory of social media. I miss the curation and personalization of it. But at the same time, it was at the risk of my own mental health because I was trying to make my life look pretty. And my life isn't always pretty. But tonight, for the first time, I genuinely looked at my world and felt joy. Genuine joy. Like I felt like a weight had been lifted off of me. It's me again. I also had this thing that came into my mind again, and this happened when I went to go see my friend Harmony Hayes, who you should also follow, at The Color Purple with my friend Heather Hale. We came separately, but we saw each other at The Color Purple. And I literally was like, at the meet and greet portion, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get into bed. And we were all like going to the meet and greets outside in the lobby. And there was a moment when it registered standing right next to Heather, who is my good friend from college, and Harmony, who is my good now friend from my adult times. It's hard to believe that we didn't meet in college. I was watching Harmony be a star and take pictures with the adoring fans and shit. Heather, who is an amazing fucking singer. And I was like, this is the moment we are the moment. We are the people that I have been looking for years. Like Neurospicy, don't judge me. I have collages of celebrities that I admire, and I used to keep the TV on when I was a child so I would feel less alone in my room. And occasionally as an adult, I pull up those collages and they kind of stay in the background as I do my daily chores and walk around my house. And I imagine that I'm Cynthia Erivo in an interview, or that I'm, Roisin Murphy in the Overpowered video or whatever. In that Color Purple moment, I thought to myself, we are the important ones. And tonight, I had that same thought reoccur to me. I was like, we were the moment tonight. Like, we're the ones on the fucking come up. We're the ones that deserve the attention and all of the accolades and the shit and the things and we are the change makers also, I want to say, because we could enter into Hollywood and do everything their way. But I also feel like what God is calling us to do as a collective of creatives in this generation, in my age range, I feel like we are meant to dismantle that shit completely from the ground up. And the more we keep trying to work up, so to speak, the more it's going to kind of like crumble onto our faces like, like pancake, like a pizza dough falling from the sky. So I just wanted to say that what was supposed to be briefly, but ended up turning into a long-winded example. But tonight I thought that about, Sylvia and Michael and Panic tonight. I was like, we are the moment. As a single man who has no car and uses public transportation or walking, tonight taking the bus from the gig and then being on a bus that goes past or near a location that I'm playing at tomorrow, and then I'm playing at that same place in the afternoon, I was like, well, I have my gear with me. I'll just drop my stuff off at Ghost Baby before I go there tomorrow. And I just was like, pre-medication me would have never thought of that. me before the fluoxetine or whatever would have never thought of that. Because I would have been so bogged down in, oh, woe is me. Oh, I have to figure out my next move. I have to figure out how to get home. And how much cash do I have to get home, if at all? And it's like, I didn't have to think about that tonight. And then on the way there, even carrying my gear, I was like listening to my Christmas music, and like the promenade and the boulevard was all lit up with the Christmas trees and the lights, and it was like the perfect temperature, and the snow was starting to fall, and I just felt like a little kid, and it was just so nice. Oh gosh, I feel like Ashley Ippolito, your internet mom Ash, playing Super Mario Kart, and she was like, this game is trying to set me up so I have a false sense of security, and it's just going to be terrible. I just know it. Part of me feels like that with this medication, because there's no way in 24 hours I have had 505. I have had a complete change of mindset. Anyway, back to what I was originally talking about. The one thing that I kept going back to listening to all of the artists play tonight was that I can't wait to get back into the studio again. Like that performing, I may have a gifted voice. I may have a gift for playing the piano. I may be gifted at playing and singing. Either way, I still mentally and creatively thrive in the production, creation, behind the scenes, don't look at the man behind the curtain type of shit. That's where I get off. That's where I get my rocks off, if you will, my creative rocks off. And I get my fulfillment from being in the studio. And I just kept hearing these songs, and I was like, this stuff is spectacular. Again, I made the decision to pull all my music from Spotify the moment that I have this opportunity to share my music on a larger platform. It just came at a really wrong time. But at the same time, this night came at the right time, because not only was it confirmation that I'm doing the right thing by being a musician, by being a creator, by being in the room, and that I deserve a place there, it was an experience that I wasn't expecting to enjoy so much, especially since I don't really consider myself the biggest songwriter. Again, I know I keep saying that, but I love having ideas. I love writing songs. I love producing songs that other people wrote. But I don't really consider myself like a Burt Bacharach, so to speak. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. If I could be like anyone, I wish I could be like Burt Bacharach, at least in terms of my catalog and my influence on popular culture. One can only aspire. But yeah, tonight was great. I'm just sitting in my bed, and I'm just so happy to be at home in my bed. I left my Christmas lights on by accident. So my Christmas lights were on for me when I came back in the house. It was just like, I feel so happy. It could just be a manic high that, you know, because of the hope that I felt, 909, about taking the antidepressants. Now that I have them, now I'm on a manic high, and I'm like, okay, well, now I can just accomplish everything and just like rule the world. And it's like, that was another thing that I kept having to remember. When I got on the bus to go home, I felt drawn creatively to write for it tonight. And you could say, well, that's easy. Just write a couple pages if you feel so drawn to doing that. But also, like, I don't know why I make such a big deal out of everything, because it doesn't matter whether I type it or write it. As long as I just get the ideas out, right? That's all that really matters. A lot of my whole day, I don't know how I did today, because I woke up at 8 o'clock today, did my morning pages, made breakfast, made dinner, got on the bus to go to a gig, dropped off my gear from said gig at another place that I'm going to tomorrow, then took another bus back home. Today just feels like if this were a week ago, I would have wanted to end it. Because I would be exhausted by now. And I would be bitching as soon as I came through the door. I would have been fucking angry as hell, cussing out every bus driver, every little snowflake that dropped on my head. I would have been so mad. Bob Ross wants to say hi. Say hi, Bob. I would have been so mad. I would have been squeezing my buddy's head. Sex? As an anger release toy. Because he's the one that helps me see happy little trees whenever I squeeze his head or whenever I use him as a pillow. He calms me down. This was one of the best finds that I ever had on tour with my old band. I found him in a Cracker Barrel, and I've been obsessed with him ever since. Even my mom loves him. I honestly don't even feel like going on and on about how I feel like it might be placebo or this and that. I honestly just want to like take it as it is and call it a night. I had a good day, and I don't have to be suspicious of the fact that I had a good day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I do that a lot, whether it be with people that I meet. You know, I have this feeling of like, oh, I have a feeling about this person and I like them a lot. They're going to let me down in some way, aren't they? I have that feeling quite a lot, and I fall in love with them instantly. They lure me into this feeling of like, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? And then all of a sudden it turns into complete like heartbreak or unrequited feelings or something. And I don't want to treat my life like that. I just want to say I had a good day and leave it at that. So I'm going to say I had a good day and leave it at that. Happy little trees. And I will not ramble on any further and see you tomorrow after I do my morning pages. One more thing I also wanted to say. I was thinking maybe like I do this like a daily thing, but I also feel like maybe the whole week would be a good video, but I feel like that would just be too long. I feel like it would be an hour-long video, and nobody likes hour-long videos unless you're, you know, defunct land, and you can actually captivate an audience for an hour plus. So for me, I think this is just going to be a good starting point to just maybe edit a video a day and then like upload it. This just serves as a testimony, as a marker, and as a personal tracker, if you will, for my life in my journey trying to get help and help myself and feel better and be better and think better, behave better, act better. So yeah, night night.